Bonsoir les causeurs, this is Llyane Stanfield, and tonight I'm preparing you for question number 8. Question number 8 is in the contest, is about the expression il faut. It's about subjonctif. And I have a little story for you that I hope that you relate to. And so please write in the comments and let me know if you do, or if you don't, what your opinion. I'd love to hear that. What I see, most of the programs, most of the teachers, most of the schools introduce the expression il faut at the beginning, so for beginners. Il faut is many times used with subjonctif. So in order for these teachers or books, manuals, systems, methods, in order for them to explain il faut, they have to then get into subjonctif. The subjonctif, subjunctive is in English, so subjunctive is a mode that is not for the beginners. And so this is the reason why a lot of the beginners have trouble with the expression il faut altogether. So I would like to give you a couple of options and on how to use il faut. So important, because most of you have been taught that you should use the expression il faut, and oh my God, now this is subjunctive and I have no idea what to do with it. And so how exactly to navigate the conversation when you need to put this il faut meaning, connotation, subtext in your conversation. So il faut is an impersonal expression, and it means it must, right? Now, if you use il faut, I said that is used with subjunctive, but il faut is used with subjunctive only if only if I have to specify the subject, right? So for instance, if I say like a generic, the second situation would be, well, I don't need subjunctive. So two situations in which we use il faut, the way we use il faut, with subjunctive or with the infinitive. And with the infinitive is the easy way, but you need to know how to tailor your sentence so that it accommodates the il faut with the infinitive if you don't want the subjunctive. What I'm saying is this: learn subjunctive. It's not a mode that you should avoid learning. It's not it's a useful and very much used mode. However, while you're learning it and while you become comfortable with it, do avoid it. And every so often, whenever you feel a little more comfortable, then you pitch in the subjunctive. Why am I saying this? Is because in conversation we don't have much time to think, and so you need to have some tools. You need to have some plan B options that you can access easily without thinking much in your conversation, so that you don't, switch to English or just stop talking. So if I say, if I use like a generic expressions, one must eat, no, I'm not going to give that. One must drink milk, or people must drink milk. I'm going to say il faut boire du lait. Il faut boire du lait. And boire is in the infinitive. Il faut boire du lait. But if I want to say, if I want to have a subject, I have to say it must that you drink milk. So you must drink milk. In other words, I'm going to have to say il faut que tu bois du lait. The moment I have que, what follows has to be subjunctive. Now the problem with that is that subjunctive is so much like the present tense for the regular verbs that most people, when they start learning il faut and whatnot, or when they hear it, they think that is the present following. il faut que tu bois du lait is simply que tu bois is like absolutely it's written exactly like the present tense. But subjonctif is not identical to present at all persons, even for the regular verbs. So for instance, boire, il faut que je bois, il faut que tu bois, il faut que il boit, il faut que nous bouvillions, il faut que vous bouvilliez, il faut qu'ils boivent. Right? So bouvillon and bouvillier, it's going to be in the imparfait, the form of imparfait. I don't want to give you too much details because I don't want to get into too much detail, but it's different. So subjunctive and present tense, they are different. So when you say il faut que, then you need to know subjunctive in order to fill in the second part of the sentence. So if you can say the generic il faut boire du lait, then it's a really the easiest way to go about your sentence. Il faut boire du lait, looking at the person I'm talking to, and so they're gonna know that I'm talking about them. And so talking to a child and say il faut boire du lait, then they'll know that they have to drink the milk. But what's gonna happen if I really have to specify that subject? It's really hard. And so the technique that I have for you is replacing the falloir, which is the verb the infinitive of the verb il that conjugates like il faut, falloir, to devoir with devoir, which means the same thing. So instead of saying il faut que tu bois du lait, you would have to say, you have to rephrase it and change the sentence to tu dois boire du lait. You have to drink milk. Tu dois boire du lait. And so devoir, which is the second verb that I want you to use instead of falloir, devoir is conjugate in the present, but what follows is the infinitive. Tu dois manger, tu dois boire, tu dois parler, tu dois aller. So it's so simple what comes after the verb devoir. It's not going to, you don't need subjunctive, you just need the infinitive of the verb that you conjugate. So you must drink, tu dois boire du lait. So I'm going to summarize what the technique is. And before I summarize the technique, I would like to tell you about the program. Now, this contest, a fantastic bonus, the audiobook, which is an amazing resource that will help you get to your bilingualism so much faster and have all these confusions clarified like so systematically that is not going to be difficult at all. The intensive if you like any of the lessons that I've given you so far, you should check out the intensive program. I'm going to put the link in the comments below, of course, with the tips and everything. No pressure. Just check it out and see if you are ready to become bilingual in 2018, because with the intensive program and the way the method that we have in the intensive program, you will see every little thing that I've explained. I just try to make it much less detailed and much simpler, but everything is going to be smooth and natural and really like well, it will be a challenge, but it won't be a hardship. So no pressure. You don't have to if you don't feel ready, but if you do like these lessons that I have been explaining so far, today is the 8th, please check the intensive program. I'm going to put the link in the comments below. The bonus is fantastic. Do check it out. It's going to be available only during this contest. So now, to summarize everything that I've been talking about with falloir and devoir. So falloir, il faut, can be used with subjonctif. If you know it, go ahead and use it with subjonctif. If you don't know subjonctif and you just learn it, or if you just don't know subjonctif and you don't care about it, which is fine, in the beginning, as a beginner, you should not get into subjunctive. That's for sure. So if you are a beginner or you're just learning subjunctive, you can use il faut with the infinitive. So you have to recraft your sentence so that it accommodates. The context needs to be clear enough, or the situation in conversation needs to be clear enough that il faut with the infinitive, il faut boire du lait, has to be very clear to the person that you're talking to. So you must look at them, or it must be very clear in the context that it is about who is the subject. That's the problem, right? Because when I say il faut boire du lait, there's no subject. Anybody in the world can be applied to anybody. And so you really need to apply a subject in a conversation most of the times. And if this is a little too hard for you, just drop il faut altogether. You're not going to sound more French if you use il faut. I promise you that. Okay, you need to be clear in your communication. And devoir gives you that clarity, simplicity, and fluidity of the sentence that you really don't need to jump through hoops to just say something so simple, really, if you think about it. So if I want to say il faut que tu bois du lait, would be with subjunctive. Il faut boire du lait, if the context is clear, and you know the subject is clear. And if this is a little too hard, then switch to devoir, tu dois boire du lait. And you only use infinitive after devoir. This is what I had for you for today. I am sorry that I've been a little bit vague at the beginning, because I really feel that this can be a conversation for an entire hour, and I'm trying to make it really short. Not just that, but I'm trying to speak to most people. And these three situations, three options that I'm giving you, really can be used by anybody, as in like either beginner, they have something from it, an intermediate has something from this advice, as well as an advanced speaker has also a little bit of from this advice. But for the beginner, I didn't really want to go too much into detail, because I don't want to overwhelm you, and I don't want you to feel that it's really hard and too much. Okay, so I'm going to write these three sentences in the comments below, and use these three sentences as an example for the answer in the question number 8. Stay on your game and keep going for your dreams to become bilingual. Learn to speak Parisian French and break your language barrier. Merci beaucoup et à la prochaine. Au revoir.